Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am going to talk about my top 3 favorite Flemish or Belgian or Dutch films. So, why am I making this video, you're probably asking. Well, first of all, I love films. I really adore films, man. Holy shit. Like literally, I watch a film daily, which says a lot about myself. But, I love the medium. I love just watching films, man. It's just a way to escape reality, and you know, you already know that, obviously. So, right, the second thing is because I am Flemish, I am Belgian, and I am proud to be Belgian, I guess. I'm proud to live in Belgium because I'm really happy here. I'm not quite sure why. This is not like a touristic place or whatever. Like Belgium is, it's pretty tiny, to be honest. And obviously, we've got a lot of great things like waffles, chocolate, and all the fun things like vol au vent. Holy shit, I couldn't live without that, man. Or carnival, or whatever, man. We also have a guy who pisses, as a statue. So I guess that's who we are. So anyway, let's talk about these 3 Flemish films. Obviously, Flanders or Belgium has a lot of great films, like a lot of French films. Like we are two language bowl, like we do have 2 languages, right? But I can't remember the right word. We're bilingual. I think that's it, right? Yeah. So we have French and we have Dutch, obviously. Obviously, in the north of Belgium we have Flemish, and in the south of Belgium we have French, and also a little German part. And I suppose Brussels also has a lot of different cultures there. So I guess we're multicultural, man. Anyway, so the main films in Belgium are obviously French or Dutch, but obviously there are great films, obviously. But these 3 films that I'm going to talk about are my favorite ones, just in the way that I got introduced by them, or maybe I've got a little funny story about them, or whatever. So, alright, let's talk about the first film, which is obviously Ad Fundum. Ad Fundum is directed by Erik Valoy. You might probably know him from the famous, from the famous TV show that he hosts, which is The Smartest Man on the World. I guess literally translated in Dutch, it is The Slimste Mens ter Wereld, obviously. So Erik Valoy, he's a very famous guy. Yeah, he's very famous. Obviously, he appears on the TV a lot, and he has made a few films actually, but a few of them, are pretty alright. I do have 2 films of him. Obviously, one being Ad Fundum and the other one being Loft, which is, I believe, one of his first films. But Ad Fundum is his first film, so that's cool, right? There we go. So, alright, a funny thing is, obviously, this is a little story, I guess. I went to a screening of Jaws where he did the introduction for, and I got a picture with him, and also got my films signed. So I guess, yeah, I got a little nice autograph on my films, which is quite nice. Obviously, it's quite cool. So a little funny story, right? So Ad Fundum, why do I like this film? Ad Fundum is about a student club, I guess. The student clubs here in Belgium are mainly about drinking and just doing stuff together as like a friend group. But this hits home for me because I also have my little youth movement, and this I kind of associate with that. Like Ad Fundum is about like the student club, trying to get more students to join their club, obviously. But before they do that, they need to do some challenges, some funny challenges, some rather say shameable challenges too. But that's being part of a youth club or a youth movement, right? You need to do some things to eventually earn that title of a real member of the club, right? But this film is very, I would say, you can talk about it like in the world of today, because in Belgium he had quite some problems with like some of those student clubs. Not that they're really dangerous, but just something happened that is still talking about today. And to be honest, in the film it also happens in a way where somebody dies, and in real life also somebody dies during those challenges. It's quite sad, but that's reality, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a rather interesting film because, like I said, you can still talk about it today, and the things that happen in real life, they kind of link with this film too, and that's why I think it's a very interesting film. Like, you can talk about it today, you can talk about it, in the past or whatever.
um, it's still really, it hits home, I would say, yeah, for some people, obviously. But yeah, Ed Fundum is his Eric Van Looy's first film, and you know, eventually the later films that he makes are more like political and or criminal world and stuff like that. But Ed Fundum is something that I really connect with, man. I really also have my friends or my group and my youth movement, and I really love them. And to see like a film actually talk about one of those student clubs, you're young, right? You want to meet new people, you want to go and join clubs, and there we go. That's my first favorite film of this list, I guess, at Fundum. All right, the second one is going to be Whelp. Whelp is a film that, well, I've known this film for quite some time, a very long time actually, but I did not finish it when I first watched it. This is also a very funny story. This film is about a Scouts movement. Like I said, it's still relatable, just like the first film that I talked about. The second film is still the same for me. It hits home for me. So we have a Scouts going to the forests to go on a summer camp, right? But something is lurking in the shadows in this forest. There's an evil, I would say, forest boy who lives there and actually, kills people. Together with his weird boss. I'm not quite sure. It's rather weird. You don't really have a lot of answers at the end of the film, but still, it's a horror film, right? When I first watched it, and there it comes. Actually, the first time I watched it, I was about 6. I was 6 years old, so that was a really great decision for me, just watching this film when I was 6. I was also scared of the forest for a long time, but then I'm good, man. I'm good. I learned from my mistakes, and I watched this film again recently, actually, because I saw it on a Belgian or Dutch TV streaming platform, and I was like, holy shit, this film is actually not scary at all. It's very mysterious. It's very mysterious indeed, and you get some really gruesome kills in this film too. As like I would say a not really big horror fan, but I do enjoy the horror films. Now because I'm older, I just I can resist those things. I can resist those things and actually watch the films without actually being scared. It's just the thrill of it all, like seeing these characters run away from this mysterious boy who lives in the forest, which is really interesting. And I mean, this film also has a cast with accents. Like, we have different regions in Belgium, and the people in this film talk Antwerp, or are from Antwerp, or Antwerpish. I guess, I don't know. But that accent is very funny, man. Like, just in real life, I just hate that accent, man. So there we go. Anyway, but Whelp is a great film. And there we go. Alright, yeah. So that's nice. Alright, the third film is actually one of the films that really, really hit home to me. I'm not quite sure why, but it's literally the embodiment of like everything. I would say, not really disrespectful in a way, but Belgians are very, they're a breed, man. They're a group of people that are actually kind of weird. So the third film is actually the Helaas heet der dingen. There's also an English version of the title, but this film is about a boy who lives or grows up in a very, I would say, aggressive situation. Like a family of like his uncles live together with his grandma and his dad. He doesn't really know who his mother is because it's a spoilers alert, and I guess she's a hooker, man. And this guy lives with his uncles, but obviously all of his uncles are very not really mature. They're very immature, very unfriendly too. Very disrespectful too. Like, they drink, they smoke, they do, they're very loud. And in this film you get this great redemption arc with the father, who actually becomes sober again at the end of the film, which is really interesting. And yeah, I think for some reason this film it's beautiful. It's very harsh, man. It's like rough material, I would say,
but it's very funny too. Like there are a lot of great scenes, like they're laughing and singing and stuff like that, and you really, yeah, you get the hype. You know what's going on, right? And it's really nice. But all right, these three films are very unique. Very unique in each way. Ever like they don't really have a certain theme. Maybe they do actually. Yeah. Well, maybe they do have a certain theme, but I'm not quite sure. Like, it's weird to describe it because there are plenty of Dutch and Belgian films out there. Like, for example, we've got the FC de Kampioenen films. Come on, baby! No, just kidding. It's a long-running TV show and they made 4 movies about that. But those don't really hit that hard. Towards me. Like I know those films exist, but I just don't really like them. Anyway, you have what's it called, Marina, right, about a Italian singer. We also have plenty of other films like Rosie too. Those films are really great, but these three, man, if you were to say you should watch 3 films, 3 Dutch films, 3 Belgian films for the rest of your life, I would say these 3 films, man. Obviously it's another story with English films, but I'll get to that in another video or whatever. But alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye, everyone.